Welcome back to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here today because we are looking at something absolutely massive. We are breaking down the official August 2026 specifications for Google's newest flagship, the Pixel 11 Pro. Released on August 20th, this device is already making huge waves across the tech world. Our goal today is pretty simple. We're going to examine the hardware, the software, and the design choices to answer one big question. Is this just another iterative, boring update, or a true premium leap that actually justifies its high-end status? Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're looking at the complete picture. We'll start with a welcome to the Pixel 11 Pro, tackle the premium price tag, check out the Tensor G6 2nm revolution, look at the next-gen cameras and highlight, talk battery life in Q2, and finally, 7 years of Android 17. All right, Section 1. Welcome to the Pixel 11 Pro and the 2026 hardware landscape.
Right off the bat, this phone is a stunner. We're talking a 6.3-inch LTPO OLED screen. And that LTPO part, that's crucial. It means the display adapts dynamically from 1 all the way up to 120 Hz. So you get buttery smooth scrolling when you're gaming, but it absolutely sips battery when you're just looking at static text. And brightness, it peaks at an insane 2450 nits. Using this thing outdoors in direct sunlight is literally effortless. Throw in Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and back, wrap it all in a solid aluminum chassis, and you've got a seriously robust, brilliant canvas.
Moving on to Section 2, the premium price tag, or the value question.
Now, what's really interesting here is how Google is positioning this. It is a true ultra-premium device. If you want the maxed-out specs, 16 gigs of RAM paired with a whopping 1 terabyte of storage, you're looking at $1,399. But the entry point for the Pro line sits at $1,099 for the 12 gig RAM and 256 gig storage variant. It's a serious financial commitment, right? Which is exactly why we need to pop the hood and scrutinize what's actually inside this phone. We need to see if the value really aligns with that cost.
That brings us perfectly to Section 3, Tensor G6, a 2nm revolution and the power under the hood. So, the beating heart of the Pixel 11 Pro is the brand new Tensor G6, built on a 2nm process node. If chip architecture isn't your jam, basically, smaller is way better. To put it into perspective, 2 nanometers is roughly the width of a single strand of DNA. It's a massive leap in miniaturization, letting Google pack way more transistors into a tiny space. What does that mean for you? Unprecedented thermal efficiency and just raw, unadulterated speed. Plus, Google integrated a vapor chamber cooling system to manage the heat. So, intense mobile gaming, 4K video editing, this phone runs faster for longer without throttling your experience.
But wait, the processor isn't the only major internal glow-up. For years, Google relied on Exynos modems, which occasionally caught some flack for connectivity hiccups. Well, for the Pixel 11 Pro, they have completely pivoted to a new MediaTek modem. This is a huge shift designed to give you stronger, way more reliable cell service and seamless Wi-Fi 7 capabilities no matter where you are. And it pairs perfectly with Google's dedicated Titan M3 security chip, keeping all your data incredibly safe.
Let's move on to Section 4, Next-Gen Cameras and Highlight. Welcome to a new visual era.
And this brilliantly illustrates where Google historically dominates: mobile photography. We're looking at a formidable triple camera array here. The main shooter is a massive 50-megapixel lens with phase detection autofocus and optical image stabilization. But the backup dancers are just as good. You get a 48-megapixel ultra-wide with a sweeping 120-degree field of view and a 48-megapixel periscope telephoto offering 5x optical zoom. Combine all that raw hardware with Google's legendary computational photography, the software magic that sharpens details and kills noise, and it enables a mind-blowing 120x Max Pro zoom. Whether it's a wide landscape or you're zooming in from the back row of a concert, the optics here are completely top tier.
There's also a really fascinating physical change to the camera bar this year. Remember that built-in temperature sensor from the older models? Yeah, unless you were obsessively checking your coffee, it wasn't exactly a game changer. So, Google officially discontinued it. In its place, they've introduced the highly anticipated Highlight RGB LED array. It's essentially a glyph-style notification system built directly into the camera bar. It adds this whole new customizable visual element for how your phone communicates with you. It replaces a totally niche sensor with something far more universally useful and, honestly, a whole lot more fun.
Let's slide into Section 5, Battery Life and Qi 2. Power that lasts.
Because let's face it, a premium processor and a super bright screen demand serious juice. 4,850.
That is the typical milliamp hour battery capacity packed into this device. Combined with the insane efficiency of that 2nm chip, Google is boasting an advertised battery life of over 30 hours. 30 hours! We are talking true all-day performance. Navigating, taking high-res photos, streaming video, the whole shebang, without ever feeling that familiar battery anxiety.
And when you do need to charge, you've got a massive quality-of-life upgrade, Q2, branded here as Pixel Snap. Q2 is the new gold standard for magnetic wireless charging. It snaps into perfect alignment every single time and blasts a rapid 25 watts of wireless power. Prefer to plug in? The phone supports 30-watt wired USB-C PPS charging, which is a standard that dynamically adjusts power for fast, safe charging, literally getting you from 0 to 55% in just 30 minutes.
Which brings us to our final section. Section 6, 7 years of Android 17, built for the 2030s.
So the crucial point when we talk about long-term value is the number 7. The device launches with Android 17 right out of the box, and Google guarantees 7 years of major OS updates and 7 years of security updates. This phone is practically designed to stay current, secure, and fully functional well into the 2030s. And what exactly will it be running for those 7 years? Full, system-wide Gemini intelligence. Because of that powerful 2nm tensor hardware we just talked about, this phone runs advanced AI locally. You don't have to ping the cloud for every little request. This powers incredible on-device features like Call Screen, Hold for Me, Live Translate, and all the Google Photos magic you love like Magic Eraser, Photo Unblur, and Best Take. The hardware is specifically engineered to ensure this entire software suite runs flawlessly for the life of the device.
So what does this all mean? It brings our narrative full circle to the ultimate question for you today. Does the Pixel 11 Pro truly justify its premium price tag? We've unpacked all the data, from the $1,099 entry point to the top-tier internals. Now, let's evaluate it all.
Let's summarize the 2026 premium value proposition. For a base price of $1,099, you get 256 gigabytes of storage. That buys you the unprecedented efficiency of a 2nm Tensor G6 chip. You get a world-class 50-megapixel triple camera array with that awesome new highlight LED. You get next-gen Key 2 magnetic charging, and it's all tied together with a massive 7-year lifespan starting on Android 17. Looking at this crazy combination of software longevity and raw hardware power, you really have to ask yourself, does this make the Pixel 11 Pro the definitive smartphone of 2026? Or is $1,099 still too steep a mountain to climb? Think about that as you consider your next tech investment. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.